Alright, in this video we're going to learn how to factor, especially when there is a greatest common factor that I can take out of all of these numbers. So in order to factor, we're going to first look, do I have a greatest common factor, or a GCF? A greatest common factor is a number that can go into all three of our numbers in front. So is there a number that goes into 2, 14, and a negative 16? Now I would think, well, they're all even numbers, so 2 is going to go into all of them. 2 times 1 gives me 2. 2 times 7 gives me 14. And 2 times a negative 8 is going to give me that minus 16 or the negative 16. Okay, if I have a 2 here, a 2 here, a 2 here, so we're going to factor that out in front because they all have that in common. Now, what am I left with? Well, I factored a 2 out of here, so I'm left with a 1x squared. I factored a 2 out of here, my second term, and I'm left with the number 7 and the letter x. And I factor a 2 out of my last term, and I'm left with a negative 8. Now, usually we don't write plus a negative 8, so I'm going to change that over to a minus 8. Now we've completed our first CFS for factoring out a greatest common factor. Our second CFS is to identify what multiplies are my factors for C. A is first, B, C. So what multiplies to give me negative 8? Well, let's see. I know I need to have a positive and a negative, because a positive times a negative gives me a negative. So 2 and negative 4, 4 and negative 2, 8 and negative 1, and negative 8 times a positive 1. I'm going to write it the other way. So I've identified everything that multiplies to this last term, or C. Now, I have some parts to choose from because my end goal is to write this as a set of parentheses. That's what that's going to look like when I factor. So I have these numbers to plug in, but I need to choose, well, which one of those do I actually want? So CFS number 3 now, which one of these adds to the number in the middle, or B? So let's add them up. 2 plus a negative 4 gives us negative 2. Well, is that what I'm looking for? No, I want them to add to a positive 7, not negative 2. Okay, 4 plus a negative 2 is going to give me a positive 2. Well, at least it's positive, but still not the number I'm looking for. 8 and a negative 1, 8 plus negative 1 gives me a positive 7. It seems like that's what I'm looking for. I'm going to check the last one just to make sure. 1 plus a negative 8 gives me a negative 7. Close, but not exactly. So the factor pair I do want to use is 8 and negative 1. They multiply to negative 8, but they add to a positive 7. Now my last, as I write my factor as shown below, my greatest common factor goes in front, and then my 2 factors I chose here go inside the parentheses for what I factored. So let's see, x plus blank, x plus blank. My number in front is my greatest common factor, so now I pay attention to that again. I ignored it for a little bit when I was just trying to factor that set of parentheses. So my 2, I just bring it straight down. We factored that out. And then my 2 factors from my factor table over here. X plus 8 is one of them. X plus negative 1 is my last one. So I fill those into the places. The last thing I would do is to maybe just change this from plus and negative to minus. And then I finish factoring. The only thing you might see differently is that these 2 are switched. So it might see x minus 1 and then x plus 8 second. That doesn't make a difference. You still have the same factor pairs. So we have finished factoring with a greatest common factor. By first factoring out our greatest common factor, then identify what multiplied to negative 8, and last, what adds to positive 7 before I just plug in my different parts.